Good evening, viewers. You're watching Mission 2024. I'm Preeti Choudhry. The big question, well, the ED has gone for the jugular, called in the Delhi Chief Minister tomorrow. Till now, we don't know whether or not Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, will appear before the ED. That's our top focus. Lots of politics around it, and these are the headlines. Big political dangle over Snoopgate 2.0. BJP claims George Soros behind Apple hack alert. Calls it a Soros-Rahul Gandhi plot. TMC MP Mahua writes to Lok Sabha Speaker, demands probe. BJP makes big charge a day before Mahua's appearance before the ethics panel, says TMC MP's login used in Dubai 47 times. Sources also say Mahua allegedly took 14 unaccounted trips. Suspense looms over whether Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will appear for his ED summons on Thursday. AAP claims plot to arrest Arvind Kejriwal after questioning in the Liquorgate probe. Maharashtra on edge in midst of Maratha Quota protest. Chief Minister Shinde amps up firefighting with an all-party meet. All leaders table appeal for peace. Israel's strike destroys Gazan refugee camp in Jabalia. Gaza says dozens of civilians killed, hundreds injured. Israel claims Hamas commander killed. Prime Minister Modi felicitates the Asian Games para-athlete contingent. The Indian delegation clinched a historic 100-medal milestone in this year's Games. Top story, viewers. Will Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, keep his date with the Enforcement Directorate tomorrow? The Delhi Chief Minister is to appear before the ED tomorrow. The summon has come now in the Liquorgate scam. The Delhi Chief Minister, till now, quiet on the issue. Possible we'll know soon or whether or not he will appear.
Kejriwal's date with the ED is coming up tomorrow on November 2nd. Summoned for questioning in the Delhi liquor scam, suspense is peaking on whether Kejriwal will choose to attend or skip the summons. The Aam Aadmi Party convener has been summoned at a time when his deputy Manish Sisodia's bail plea in the same case was turned down by the Supreme Court. And the ED could just make the Aam Aadmi Party an accused in the case. All this has prompted Aam Aadmi Party leader to speculate that agencies could arrest Kejriwal to take on AAP.
इंडिया गठबंधन अगर एकजुट होकर लड़ता है तो सातों की सातों सीटें बीजेपी हार रही है। आप भी जानते हैं, हम भी जानते हैं। और ये सातों की सीटों की हार बीजेपी को इतना सता रही है कि वो अपने अरेस्ट की शुरुआत दिल्ली से करने जा रहे हैं और पहला अरेस्ट अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का करेंगे।
The BJP meanwhile has put up posters demanding exactly that Kejriwal's arrest in the liquor scam.
केजरीवाल साहब ने कई सारी कड़ियों को जोड़ना है, कई सारी कड़ियों को उन्होंने जवाब देने हैं। विजय नायर का क्या रोल था सारे के बीच में, उसका उत्तर उनको देना पड़ेगा। तो सारे का जो किंग पिंग है तो केजरीवाल है।
Arvind Kejriwal meanwhile has maintained a stoic silence on the summon, offering no comment or clarity on whether he will appear before the agency on November 2nd. The Delhi Chief Minister has been questioned previously by the CBI in the same Delhi excise policy case. He appeared before the CBI on April 16th and was grilled for 9 hours, soon after which he declared then that this was nothing but a witch hunt.
ये पूरा का पूरा कथित एलिज्ड शराब घोटाला झूठ है, फर्जी है और गंदी राजनीति से प्रेरित है। आम आदमी पार्टी एक कट्टर ईमानदार पार्टी है। ईमानदारी, कट्टर ईमानदारी हमारी बेसिक आइडियोलॉजी है और किसी भी हालत में हम मर जाएंगे, मिट जाएंगे, लेकिन अपनी ईमानदारी के साथ कभी कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करेंगे।
India allies meanwhile have backed Kejriwal, calling the ED summon an attempt to target Aam Aadmi Party.
Who they have targeted now, it's ministers, within the AAP government. They are in jail. Why they have not been granted bail, I just don't appreciate that. Bail has become now, the process itself has become a punishment. Then they are targeting now Arvind Kejriwal, and as the elections get nearer, the Lok Sabha elections get nearer, they'll be targeting more people.
ऐसे बहुत सारे सरकारें हैं जो गलत फैसले लेती हैं। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि अपने पॉलिटिकल लाभ के लिए किसी को बदनाम कर दें। बीजेपी का 1 पॉइंट एजेंडा है कि लोगों को बदनाम करो, इतना बदनाम करो चाहे उसमें सच्चाई हो ना हो।
मेरा तो सीधे मानना है कि आप बेकार कह रहे हैं कि ईडी ने समन किया, बीजेपी ने समन किया। अब ये ईडी, आईटी, सीबीआई वगैरह वगैरह अलग अलग नाम से हम ना बोलें।
After Manish Sisodia and Sanjay Singh, will Arvind Kejriwal be arrested next in the Delhi liquor scam? Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let's quickly cut across to Munish Pandey, my colleague who's tracking the agencies, especially the ED, as well as Amit Bhardwaj, tracking the latest from the Aam Aadmi Party. Munish, let me come to you first. Has the Enforcement Directorate heard anything from the Delhi Chief Minister yet? It seems to be all on course, at least when it come down to asking for more time. They haven't done so yet.
Well, Preeti, just a while back, I spoke to my sources within the Enforcement Directorate, and what they claim that at this point of time, so far they have not received any request from Arvind Kejriwal or his lawyers asking for more time to appear in this case. So ED at this point of time, they are prepared that Arvind Kejriwal will appear tomorrow morning at 11:30. He has been called, and a questionnaire has been prepared by the Enforcement Directorate on 3 aspects. Broadly, one is his telephonic conversation with one of the accused, Samir Mahendra. Second, on the allegations that he met one of the MP from Andhra Pradesh regarding the liquor business. And third is whether Aam Aadmi Party was beneficiary of this alleged scam or not. But still, we are also being given to understand is that there is a strategy which is going on in Aam Aadmi Party also, and they are contemplating whether Arvind Kejriwal should appear tomorrow or should he be asking for more time in this case.
Manish, what is the window that the Aam Aadmi Party has to come back to the ED to seek more time to possibly not appear tomorrow?
Well, Preeti, as far as PMLA rules are concerned, there are 3 summons of Enforcement Directorate which a person can avoid. In this case, Arvind Kejriwal can avoid or skip 3 summons by the Enforcement Directorate. Every time he has to give a reason that why he can't appear before the agency, and if the reasons are valid, he can ask for more time. And asking for more time, it can be few days, it can be few weeks, it can be few months also. But end of the day, the ED will have to decide that how much more time should be granted to Arvind Kejriwal if he is asking for more time. So it can stretch from 1 day to many months in this case. End of the day, it will be, the decision of Arvind Kejriwal whether he wants to appear tomorrow or should he be asking for more time. And later, it will be ED who will be deciding. ED will be deciding whether to grant more time to Arvind Kejriwal or not. As far as the window is concerned about informing ED, in regards to tomorrow's appearance, then Arvind Kejriwal can inform the Enforcement Directorate before 11:30, even after 11:30, through his lawyers, he can inform the ED in tomorrow's date, but that due to this reason, he can't appear today, and he should be granted this number of days to appear.
All right, Munish, appreciate you joining us. Let's cut across right now because you, at least in terms of protocol to reply to the ED to seek more time, or how many times possibly Arvind Kejriwal can avoid, appearing before the ED, 3 times is what Munish just told us. But having said that, till now we haven't heard from the Aam Aadmi Party. So one can assume, Amit Bhardwaj, that possibly the Chief Minister would be appearing. But what we have been given to understand that he is right now locked in conversation with his advisors, with his lawyers, deliberating whether or not to appear tomorrow or seek more time.
Absolutely right, Preeti. Deliberations are going on, and this is different angles of deliberations which are going on. Obviously, one is the legal aspect as to whether he can skip the Enforcement Directorate summon tomorrow or not, and as to till when this can continue, and the roadmap for the bail procedure has to be marked out as well, carved out as well. But we also have to understand the scenario has changed in the past a couple of months as well. We have seen Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren skipping the ED summons and after that approaching the Supreme Court. Similar method was used by Abhishek Banerjee from the Trinamool Congress when the ED was constantly sending notices to Abhishek Banerjee, and he went on to skip those notices as well. And K. Kavita had used similar tricks as well, and eventually reaching out to the Supreme Court, bringing a legal hurdle on the way of enforcement directorate. So there are old precedents as well. So is Arvind Kejriwal going to accept, take that route? We will have to wait and watch whether that route is taken or Arvind Kejriwal decides to appear before the ED tomorrow. Preeti.
All right. So will Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, skip the first summon, seek more time? Well, he can do so in technicality, or will he appear before the ED? We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments. Also, Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party has a reason possibly not to appear, because they can say that Arvind Kejriwal is neck deep in terms of planning the Aam Aadmi Party's foray, because they are fighting elections which are coming up in just the next 1 month. And he is the party convener, therefore he's needed. So this could also be one line of reasoning for Arvind Kejriwal to skip the summons. Till now, the ED's heard nothing, so all on track. But trust India Today to get you the latest news. Appreciate both the gentlemen from joining us. Thank you, Manish. Thank you, Amit. With that, let's quickly cut across to the other big developing story that we're tracking very closely, and that is the massive political showdown erupted over some of the opposition MPs claiming that they have got alerts from Apple of state-sponsored spyware attack. TMC MP Mahua Moitra has already written to the Lok Sabha Speaker seeking a probe. On the other hand, BJP has claimed there's a sinister plot at play.
It's an all-out political war over alleged government snooping on opposition leaders. A day after sharing Apple alerts over possible hacking, TMC MP Mahua Moitra wrote to the Lok Sabha Speaker seeking a probe. Mahua told India Today that the matter is a serious breach of privacy for targeting BJP-led government.
It is a breach of our constitutional freedoms, which is a fundamental right for all of us. The second is it is against the spirit of Indian democracy and the Houses of Parliament, because the opposition and voices of dissent are completely necessary for Indian democracy. And the third is this is illegal and violates the law of the land, and also it is in complete breach of our privileges as MPs.
Over a dozen opposition big wigs have alleged that they have received messages from Apple warning them against state-sponsored attackers trying to snoop.
प्रधानमंत्री विपक्ष और बीजेपी के तमाम नेताओं की पूरी मालूमात हासिल करना चाहते, कौन उनके खिलाफ बोलता है, क्या राजनीति हो रही है। एप्पल का नोटिस तो बहुत छोटा नोटिस है, और ये बात जो मैं कह रहा हूँ ये बीजेपी के नेता भी जानते हैं।
The centre was quick to dismiss allegations of snooping on opposition, daring the opposition to lodge an FIR and submit phones for forensic probe.
So I clearly think it looks to be either a malfunction on Apple or some prank somebody is playing. It's complete nonsense that the opposition leaders are trying to propagate.
BJP meanwhile claimed an explosive George Soros links to opposition snooping charge, claiming that the alerts of hack attacks were sent at behest of the US billionaire funded digital watchdog Access Now, which is employed as a helpline for Apple, even accusing Rahul Gandhi of Soros link. Mahua, however, rubbished the charges.
When the government of India investigates this matter, as it has said clearly yesterday, and Apple will be asked to cooperate, I'm sure questions will also be asked of these NGOs like Access Now and the network they run here in India. Perhaps the web portal whose editor is on the board of Access Now will also be sort of questioned, and the entire investigation will look at all these aspects very closely. But what you cannot deny is that George Soros' hand is right behind these messages, and the follow-up messages that have come, they are clearly meant to create a storm here in India, an orchestrated one.
Sure, there's a bigger plot. I mean, given that Mr. Modi and Mr. Adani are running the biggest plot and the biggest con job on the people of this country that we have to be aware of, I think these sort of, counter accusations by the BJP make me laugh. They honestly make me laugh. So I think the fact is that members of opposition have received this. These are credible threats from Apple. Now, if he's going to say Soros controls Apple, that's all I can say.
BJP found ammo in billionaire Elon Musk, who only recently referred to George Soros as a dangerous person who hates humanity.
Soros, I don't know. I mean, he had a very difficult upbringing. In my opinion, he fundamentally hates humanity. That's my opinion.
In a big development, the Parliamentary Panel on Information Technology may call Apple for questioning on the snooping allegations. With Paulami Saha and Aishwarya Paliwal, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, with that, I'm going to go into a quick break. To stay with us on the other side is To The Point.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Get ready for an immersive journey into the heart of news, politics and insights that matter. Join India Today now on WhatsApp with the #1 election team as we gear up for the upcoming assembly elections. Do scan the QR code.
Join India Today now on WhatsApp. Follow these steps. Open WhatsApp on your phone. Check for a new updates tab. Select Find Channel and type India Today. After finding the channel, tap the Follow button.
Just a couple of kilometers from the Gaza Strip, we're once again at another Israeli kibbutz. This one is called Nir Oz. But this is actually unlike any other kibbutz, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the damage that happened here, because we've been told it is particularly bad. And I've visited 4 of the 20-odd kibbutzes that were attacked by the Hamas on October the 7th, and I can tell you already, first impressions, this is particularly bad. You can see, the spray paint by the terrorists that they put on each door as they walked in. This is one of the houses of a tiny little kibbutz where 400 people lived. And the reason why it was particularly badly damaged is because about 100 of the people who lived in this little kibbutz were either murdered by the Hamas or were taken hostage. We're told by the IDF here that about 1/3 of all hostages currently in Hamas captivity are from this kibbutz alone. That's about 70 to 80 of the total number of hostages are just from Nir Oz, this particular kibbutz where I'm standing right now. It's just ash and dust. There's nothing else here. Everything's been reduced completely to rubble and fire debris. These are the remnants of not just firearms, but a place that's been completely torched. Now, the Nir Oz kibbutz had about 400 people, very small, just a few houses, 400 people in all. Most of the people working and living in this kibbutz were farmers, agrarian, entrepreneurs. Many of them, were told, grew avocados. Some of them worked in the nearby sealants and paint factory, not very far from here. Fire was the main weapon that was used here. We've seen some bullet holes in some of the walls, but it is very clear that in this particular kibbutz, arson was the main weapon wielded by the Hamas terrorists. They came in with lighters, lighter fuel, and they just set everything ablaze, which is why nearly all, 99% of the damage here you see is all fire damage.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
In the realm of Indian fashion, Bollywood celebrities play a significant role in defining trends. Currently, if there's one trend that's having a major moment, it has to be white saris. From Kriti Sanan's graceful appearance at the National Film Awards in a resplendent Manish Malhotra white sari, punctuated with pastel accents, to Rani Mukherjee's raw mango pick to celebrate 25 years of the film Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. The allure of this classic comeback is undeniable. Deepika Padukone too effortlessly made a strong case for monochrome fashion in a stunning white sari at the Jawan press conference. The Sabyasachi sari boasted of contemporary twists with a sequined black border and was completed with backless halter neck blouse. Interestingly, the divas embraced the color white for celebratory occasions as well. Case in point, Alia Bhatt and Parineeti Chopra, who made strong bridal fashion statements as they sported a rather close shade to white ivory for their wedding looks. To much surprise, Alia repeated her ivory Sabyasachi wedding sari to receive the National Film Awards at the ceremony held in New Delhi on October 17th. Legendary actress Wahida Rehman, who too was conferred the Dadasaheb Phalke Award at the event, was seen exuding elegance in an ivory drape. Fashion designer J.J. Valaya too had his views to share on the current trend of whites. Well, I've personally been very biased towards ivory as a color. It is a perennial favorite. It exudes class, it is elegant, and it is timeless. Though people might feel that it is a trend at the moment, it is something that has been around forever. One just sees a lot more of it today than we did before. Even Sonam Kapoor, who returned to the runway after 2019 and for the first time since the birth of her son, walked for Abhinav Mishra's showcase Reflection. The actress utterly reflected elegance, class and beauty in her classic Abhinav Mishra white mirror work Anarkali suit. Interestingly, it was Sonam's pick when it came to the color of her ensemble. From Disha Patni to Sanjana Sanghi, the divas dazzled in white lehengas. With inputs from Medha Chawla and Dipali Patel, Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com. हर family होगी insured.
Good evening, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. Let's cut across to the state of Maharashtra, which is on the boil ever since the Maratha Quota stir has raised its head again. Politically explosive, the Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde today called an all-party meeting to discuss the situation in the state in midst of intensified agitation. While the Sena UBT did not get invited, the NCP called it theatrics, a drama. Meanwhile, Maharashtra remained on the edge. The Chief Minister, after the all-party meeting, affirmed that his government stands firmly in favour of Maratha Reservation.
Maharashtra remains on the edge. The fight for Maratha Reservation has spread to various parts of the state. protests have seen violence over the last few days. In Hingoli, a man has died by suicide demanding quota. The face of the agitation, Manoj Jarange Patil, is still on a fast, seeking reservation for all Marathas.
मराठ्यांच्या गोरगरीब मराठ्यांच्या पोरांच्या आणि समाजाच्या वतीने हात जोडून विनंती की सगळ्या पक्षाच्या आमदारांनी वापस येऊ नये. आरक्षणच त्यांनी देण्यास भाग पाडावं. आम्ही मात्र महाराष्ट्राला आरक्षण मिळाल्याशिवाय हे आंदोलन थांबवत नाहीत आणि थांबवणार पण नाही.
Amid the protest, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde chaired an all-party meeting on Wednesday to discuss the demand for quota. After the meeting, the leaders made an appeal for peace.
समाजावर अन्याय न करता मराठा समाजाला टिकणारं आरक्षण मिळालं पाहिजे ही भूमिका सर्व पक्षांनी घेतली. परंतु कायदेशीर बाबी राज्यामध्ये कायदा सुव्यवस्था अबाधित राखण्यासाठी सर्वांना मी शांततेचं देखील या ठिकाणी आवाहन करतो आणि सर्वांनी सहकार्य करावं अशी विनंती करतो.
While Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, Deputy CM Devendra Fadnavis, NCP Supremo Sharat Pawar were present at the meeting, no invite was extended to Uddhav Thackeray's faction of the Shiv Sena.
महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री जो गैर कानूनी मुख्यमंत्री है, एक सर्वदलीय बैठक बुलाई. वो बैठक में ऐसे अरे गहरे नथुलाल को सभी को बुलाया गया, क्योंकि जो पार्टी कल तक सत्ता में थी, जिस पार्टी ने महाराष्ट्र को 3 मुख्यमंत्री दिए हैं, हाँ, जिस पार्टी के कल तक 20 सांसद थे, जिस पार्टी के मुख्यमंत्री कल तक रहे, आप भी उस पार्टी में रहे मुख्यमंत्री जी, आज भी उस पार्टी के 16 विधायक और 6 सांसद हैं, आप उनको नहीं बुलाते ऐसे महत्वपूर्ण बैठक में.
The NCP called the all-party meet a drama and claimed people of Maharashtra have lost confidence in the Shinde government. NCP protesters tried to stop Speaker Rahul Narvekar's convoy outside Maharashtra Vidhan Bhavan to mark their protest.
ये सरकार का फेलियर है. ये सरकार कुछ नहीं कर पा रही है. ये खामोखा झूठ बोलना, लोगों समाज की भावनाओं से खेलना, मैं तुमको 40 दिन में देता हूं, मैं तुमको 30 दिन में देता हूं, मैं तुमको 2 दिन में देता हूं, हालांकि मालूम है हम नहीं दे सकते.
In Mumbai, several Maratha MLAs were detained as they raised slogans against Shinde government and demanded a special session of the assembly to discuss Maratha Quota. The Maharashtra government has already accepted a report by the panel headed by Justice Sandeep Shinde, which gave suggestions on how to give Kunbi caste certificates to Marathas. Kunbis are listed in the OBC category and will enable Marathas to avail OBC quota. The government is taking this route as the Supreme Court has struck down a law that was passed to provide separate quota to Marathas in 2021. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, let's quickly cut across to our political panelists this evening. Joining me, Priyanka Chaturvedi, MP Rajya Sabha, Shiv Sena, UBT faction. Priyanka Chaturvedi, you know, your party wasn't invited today for the all-party meeting, but having said that, you've made that very clear, various leaders from your party, that you don't... Can you hear us, Priyanka? You're on silent.
I think it's at your end.
Can you hear us? Priyanka, you're on the air. Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
All right, we're going to come right back to Priyanka Chaturvedi in just about a minute. But let's cut across to our other guests as well. But to get you up to speed with the very latest that has happened, Maharashtra has been on the boil for the last many, many days. Lots of arson, violence, hunger strikes. And today, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Eknath Shinde, called an all-party meet to discuss the current situation. At the back of that, he confirmed that he stands firmly in favor of the reservation for Marathas. Let's cut across right now to Shaina NC, BJP spokesperson, and we'll go back to Priyanka Chaturvedi in just about a minute. Shaina, if you can hear me, number one, I want to ask you, why is it that your government did not call Uddhav Sena or the UBT faction of the Shiv Sena for the all-party meeting? What was the reasoning, Shaina?
The all-party meeting had representatives from all parties, and Mr. Danve was representing the faction that you mentioned. As leader of the Legislative Council, he was present. This is not a one-upmanship of who is there and who is not there. This is the cause of the Marathas, and he was representing the faction that you mentioned just now. My point is that 32% of Maharashtra is Marathas. Yes, we do completely empathize, sympathize, and want to maintain peace, law and order in a state such as ours. Eknath Shinde ji, the Chief Minister, Devendra Fadnavis as the Deputy Chief Minister, and even when he was the Chief Minister of the state, not only added the reservation that was in contention, but whether it is the farming community and the economically backward, the Kunbis, Maharashtra government then and now is committed to a quota without disturbing the OBCs. Obviously, we do understand that there are constitutional provisions. The Honorable Supreme Court struck down, and we know what happened in 2021. We know that this agitation that has been in the state has been sometimes politically also motivated by sections that want to destabilize Maharashtra, but that is not going to happen because the citizens of Maharashtra understand that we can have peaceful protests, we can have candle marches, we can have agitations, and we can have solutions. The committee which has been set up by the government of the day, Preeti, is here to endeavor and to go to the Honorable Supreme Courts with solutions, and obviously the certificates that are required for the Kunbis in the Marathwada area is something which is a given. We will always want to maintain law and order and give justice to every community without disturbing the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes, the OBCs or the Marathas. And in this political landscape, let's not make this about a kind of a political one-upmanship, because 90% of the chief ministers of Maharashtra have always been Marathas. So for those who are trying to play this card of, you know, who has been behind this drama, who is agitating, who has been invited, who has not, a 5-member panel led by Justice Shinde has not just been formed back in September, but is also giving these certificates that have been demanded by Manoj ji, and we empathize with him in the cause. So there is no,
but Shaina, I'll just come back for a quick question, and I want to bring in Priyanka Chaturvedi, but I'll come back with that quick question. You said that it's not about political one-upmanship. Then if Uddhav Thackeray wanted to attend the meeting, for a cause that, at least where perception is concerned, all political parties want to stand with the cause of the Marathas, why not invite him?
Mr. Danve is the leader in the Legislative Council representing his party and was very much present there. Nobody stops anybody from attending, and if this is going to be about, oh, we were not included, is that the cause, or is the cause about the Marathas and the quota that we want and to maintain peace and law and order in our state? When you have an all-party meeting, Mr. Sharad Pawar was very vocal there. He too had his opinions, and that was not disrespected. And if you have a committee that is working, you know the limitations of the government. The Honorable Supreme Court's viewpoint vis-a-vis this reservation has also come into contention, not once, but even when Devendra Fadnavis was the chief minister and when he was agitating. Nana Patole chose to attend from the Congress. You had Mr. Sharad Pawar attending. You had other leaders of our parties. Everyone was attending. So I don't understand why we're deflecting from the core issue. The core issue is what do we want in our state? We want every
I'm going to come right back. Shaina, I'm going to come right back, especially when it comes down to, the Kunbi certificates that are being given out, and is the BJP and your government all right by accommodating the Marathas where the OBC quota is concerned in this manner? But I want to go back to Priyanka Chaturvedi. I guess we have her back right now. Ms. Chaturvedi, the fact is, your party was represented, and if it's not what your leaders say about honor, then after the all-party meeting, the Chief Minister has pledged support, affirmed that he stands with the cause of the Marathas.
So firstly, I'd like to say, yes, our representative was there. However, what is unfortunate is that vindictive government, a government run by the traitor of Shiv Sena, and who has split the party, he refused to have the former chief minister's voice heard. Because the former chief minister, Shri Uddhav Thackeray, in his capacity, was also engaged and involved in ensuring that the Maratha reservation issue is handled. It speaks of how bitter and how small-minded this government is, that they refuse to listen to voices from across the spectrum, and that to a former chief minister. That is all I'd say. But what do you expect from a traitor gang which has come on the back of backstabbing his own party leadership? So I wouldn't want to get into that. However, the issue is, with which I was listening very carefully to what the BJP spokesperson Shainaji was saying. She said that they're being sensitive to the cause. Then I would ask her that this is perhaps the first time in history that a silent protest, a protest which was happening peacefully, was lathi charged under the Home Ministry of Devendra Fadnavis. Then it is also the first time that police used fire weapons against them. It is also first that we are seeing so many suicides being reported across the country, across the state, and a very insensitive deputy chief minister was also the home minister campaigning in Chhattisgarh. This is also, let me also talk about a little more about their sensitivity. The sensitivity that we have Jarangi Patil, who was promised that this issue would be handled in 40 days, has not been lived up to. He's been fasting for past 8 days, and we do not see any sensitivity coming from the government. What are we talking about? Now, let's go back to the Kunbi issue. Now, please understand, the Marathas came out of the Kunbis because of social movement, upward mobility. However, they find themselves in a space where their problems have not been addressed. And I do remember Devendra Fadnavis, when we were in power, happened to say something like, give me the power and I will handle it in 2 days. They do not have the political will to do it. Now, what is stopping him? What is stopping this chief minister from doing what they're doing? And I don't want to politicize this. I'm only bringing facts to the table simply because this issue has been going on for quite some time. When they came to power by backstabbing a mandate, or by backstabbing their own party members and creating splits in various parties, they knew that this was an issue. This was their commitment from the day one when it came to power. So I'm
Priyanka Chaturvedi, I'm going to go back to Shaina, but I'll ask you one question. Is your political party, is your alliance, the Mahavikas Aghadi, on board that the Marathas possibly be accommodated under the Kumbi certification, which will eat into the OBC reservation?
So Mr. Patil has a very specific demand. His demand, which what we were also fighting for, is that it should be getting a certain reservation. Maratha should be getting a certain reservation under the OBC. Unfortunately, that is what even he's asking for, he's seeking. Now, what is happening is they're trying to subsume them in a caste. Now, getting those records. Now, what is the problem here? Most of them don't have these records. Now, they are looking at archival records and scripts which are not something that is not readable. Sometimes the records also are, are in a bad condition, in a titled condition. How you handle that? 33% population in the state. That's roughly around 6-7 odd crores. And we are saying, around 4 crores. And we are saying only about 1.2 crores have been identified. What about the rest? These are challenges which need to be addressed. And even if you talk about a committee representing in the Supreme Court, etc., this has to be looked more holistically, and it cannot be looked in a partisan manner. The way the BJP is doing it and the government is doing it. For her to say, oh, anyone can walk inside an all-party meeting, I'm very sorry, ma'am, this is not how it functions. In an all-party meeting, names are specifically given and are invited, and only those people can attend.
All right, okay. Shaina NC, I want to bring you back in on the charges of primarily that you've sat on a tinder box, now it's exploded, and you're only catching up where your governance is concerned, where, vandalism, you've attacked, lathi charge, peaceful protest, resulted in arson, vandalism, where houses of legislatures have been burnt, and, practically allowed complete violence until and unless you had to make a call where even your own home minister is campaigning in Chhattisgarh while Maharashtra has been on the edge.
So firstly, our Honourable Home Minister has not just taken cognizance of the situation, is completely in the loop. So for those who are spreading conspiracy theories, please keep that aside. This is not about Uddhav Thackeray and Uddhav Thackeray's attendance. This is about the cause of the Marathas. So let's understand, when it comes to this Maratha reservation, this Sangharsh has been on from 1960s right to 1980, and we know what happened even in 2020-21, where we went to the Honorable Supreme Court after the High Court agreed and the Supreme Court struck it down. There are limitations of every government, yes, conceded. We do know that 32% reservation and the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs have also to be taken into cognizance. They are also backward. This is about the economically backward, and as the Chief Minister Eknath Shinde ji said, that the certificates for the Kunbis in the Marathwada region is something which is a given. Now, if there are shortcomings and if there are issues with the Supreme Court steps in and feels that need to be addressed and rectified and absolved in certain particular cases, the government is putting up a strong cumulative curative hearing. Now, if that committee is also set, is cooperating with the protesters, with the all stakeholders, that means the government and the administration too, please understand, just to defame people, to bhadkao people, and especially the youth and the common man, just to target for your political space, is not what we are here for. We are here for the downtrodden, and we are committed to the Marathas as we are committed to the OBCs, as we have continued to do. And there are certain issues with the Honorable Supreme Court has stepped in and given their viewpoint, and we have also put forth our viewpoints there. So I don't understand why we are making this about Uddhav Thackeray attending a meeting when his
it's not okay. It's not about Uddhav Thackeray anymore. If I still have Priyanka Chaturvedi,
the head of the legislative,
I want to get her in for a quick comment. Okay, I just want to get in Priyanka Chaturvedi for a quick comment before we let her go, and we'll continue our debate and expand it. Priyanka Chaturvedi, you know, why make it about one personality? You said not, but what you're also accused is of fanning the fires of what is already happening. You understand it's a sensitive situation. It happened during your rule as well. So you understand how sensitive the dynamics are.
I'm sorry, Preeti, don't equate the two. It is so unfair. I was listening to her where she's saying that we are instigating the youth. I mean, are they even serious about what they're talking? We have continued to say from day one, this is not a political issue. Let's not bring up politics. Let's find solutions. She says Home Minister has taken cognizance of the fact. But the Home Minister is busy campaigning in Chhattisgarh, and we have seen houses, stores, we have seen violence increase and no addressal. I'm shocked and amazed with the kind of, defense I'm hearing. She says, oh, you're making it about Uddhav Thackeray. I'm sorry, I'm not making it about just one person. I'm saying, as a former chief minister who was in charge at that point in time when Supreme Court came up with a verdict and who was trying to find solutions, how to accommodate them, he should have been heard. He should have been there. But it is this petty-mindedness. Just 1 second. One last point I'd like to make here. One last point. What shocks me and what saddens me, that Maharashtra is a very important state. And it is being treated like Manipur, where the Prime Minister hasn't spoken a word, where the Home Minister of India is totally silent with the kind of violence we are seeing. When Kerala bomb blast happened and everybody was quick to tweet about it, what about Maharashtra? Maharashtra is just a politically convenient state which can be used to, financially milk them at the center. But when it comes to actually addressing the problems of Maharashtra, they have been found lacking. And do not dump it on our door. It is a problem that you all have created.
All right, Priyanka Chaturvedi, appreciate you joining us. Professor Balasaheb Sarate, activist, Maratha Reservation Andolan, also joins us. Mr. Sarate, are you content? Are you satisfied with what the Chief Minister had to say after the all-party meet? There is a huge climb down. He says he's on your side and they're going to do what they can to accommodate your request or your protest at the earliest. सराठी जी, आपको आवाज आ रही है?
जी जी, आप मुझे पूछा है क्या आपने?
जी जी, आपसे पूछा है. जी, आपसे पूछा है.
Can you please repeat the question?
Sir, the question is, are you satisfied with what the Chief Minister had to say after the all-party meet today?
No, we are not satisfied definitely. But whatever the government is doing, we have to take it positively also, because it is a matter of process. We cannot deny that government has started doing something and they have reached to some conclusion, certainly. they have decided to issue certificates. Those records of Kunbi caste are now found with them. And they are doing further exercise also. They are on the way, and we cannot deny that they are doing something for us. Only the thing is that our leader is on fast, and his health is deteriorating day by day, and the government is not responding to him, and government is not ready to discuss the issue personally with him. They are only discussing the issue through media, and they are not honoring. They are not honoring.
Let me take that. Okay, let me take what you said to Krishna Hegde, spokesperson Shiv Sena. Krishna Hegde, this is all optics, it's theatrics, it's drama. You're not actually intervening where you need to intervene, is the charge that has been laid by the agitators and protesters. On the other side, you yourself are, facing resignation after resignation from your own MPs and MLAs.
Preeti, first let me tell you that, like Shaida, my colleague, said that the government has already, approved the Kumbhi certificates, which will be valid for Marathas and the reservation. And in the last couple of days, I think lakhs of people are already availing the benefits. Secondly, a 3-justice committee, that is Justice Gaikwad, Justice Bhosle, and Justice Shinde committee has been formed, and they are going to advise the government on how the Maratha reservation can be achieved. The third is we are filing a curative petition in the Honorable Supreme Court in concern that earlier when when the matter was in High Court and went to Supreme Court during the Uddhav Thackeray regime, it was struck down, and we don't want the same thing to happen again. And we want to see that this Maratha reservation is there for decades, and our Maratha brothers and sisters can avail the benefits. The fourth thing is a backward classes commission has been assigned the duty of finding the social, financial, economical backwardness of Marathas and to compile a data, because for anything we need to do, we need data to give the Marathas reservation. These are the things the government has already done in the past few months. Now let me answer to what Priyanka Chaturvedi's false allegations were. She said Uddhav Thackeray was not called for the meeting. There were 3 leaders, Ambadas Danve, Anil Parab and Sunil Prabhu from the UBT, who are present at the meeting. Secondly, I must also tell you that for the last 2.5 years, Uddhav Thackeray ji was the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. He did nothing for this. Moreover, during his regime and during his rule as the CM, the Maratha reservation was lost in the Supreme Court, which is an absolute failure on the behalf, because they did not send translation, they did not send documents, and even when there was, a job allocation where jobs had to be, the youth had to be accommodated in jobs. Our Maratha Andolan, leader can also, Sadavarti can also, endorse what I'm saying, that this, job.
No, I'm sure she's going to endorse Mr. Hegde with what you're saying, but Priyanka Chaturvedi is not with us right now, actually counter with what you said. But yes, you made your.
Is the truth. What I'm saying is the truth, and over that, what I would like to say is that we are committed. The government is committed. The Shinde, Pawar and the Fadnavis government is committed to reservation for Marathas. We are only asking for time.
All right, Mr. Hegde, you're saying you're committed. China NC. So let me quickly cut across to China NC. And China NC, the agitators, the protesters, no matter, forget the politics. Even they don't have faith in you or your governance right now, or the promises you've made.
So I would only say that we are going to not just walk the talk, we have walked the talk, because the Honorable Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister today after the meeting, not only the certificates, but also the fact that you have to have this curative petition in action with the best advisors. Justice Shinde has a reputation also which is very, very proactive. And yes, right from the Nizam's time, the records of the Marathas, because we know that there are 2 segments and 2 sections even within this, we have to ensure that the right people are given the reservation, and the OBCs and the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes that already exist in the 32%, we have to work over and above, because there are over 350 castes even in the OBCs.
But China NC, you can say all of that, but you had Professor Sarate, who's come.
Solution.
But ma'am, you've had Professor Sarat who's come out and said all of this is great to sound on television. What exactly are you doing? Have you opened channels with Manoj Sarat, whose health is very precarious, who's been on a hunger strike?
Yes, and we request Manoj ji because the utmost respect, because he is there for the cause and the people, as we are here for the people, and we want to ensure that there is not just peace in our state,
but
Mr.
Hegde, 10 seconds. I'm closing the bulletin.
Right
Mr. Hegde, 10 seconds, sir. I'm run out of time.
No, even this morning, our Honorable CM spoke to Manoj Jarange Patil ji for 30 minutes.
Sarat ji, you've been spoken to is what we have been told.
And we are committed. And we are committed.
And
we are not like the Uttarakhand
he's shaking his head. But that's all the time that I have for right now. I appreciate. I apologize, but I appreciate all of you for joining us. That's the time that we have. Thank you. But we're going to keep a keen eye on all developments in Maharashtra.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Gaza is in ruins. The humanitarian crisis is worsening with each passing day. The northern Gaza skyline is mostly plumes of smoke from targets bombed by Israeli forces. Hamas health authorities claim many have died in an airstrike on Jabalia, where a refuge camp is located. At one bombing site, many bodies could be seen scattered.
We suffered greatly today after our brothers and neighbors were martyred in Beit Hanun. We had no means of communication to call an ambulance. Some of us were able to get a donkey-drawn cart to move bodies. 4 to 6 bodies of members of Basaina family and Duraj family. There are hundreds of martyrs, their bodies littering the streets, inside homes and outside homes.
Survivors vented their anger at Israel.
My son, a piece of my heart, and my father and brother, may they rest in peace. They are martyrs. May God avenge us.
Gaza is suffering from shortage of food and medicine. The International Committee of the Red Cross expressed grave concern over civilian deaths in Gaza.
Now, what is particular, of course, is that Gaza is highly urbanized. The population density is one of the highest in the world. So it is very important in such an environment to be extremely careful to protect children, civilians, and also essential services. And this is very challenging in a very densely populated area.
The WHO has said a public health catastrophe is imminent in Gaza. The global body has warned of a rise in infant deaths due to dehydration, with just 5% of normal water supplies available. Israel has so far refused to stop the bombings and ground attacks till Hamas releases all the hostages. Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Millets are called superfoods, and there is a reason why they are called superfoods. They are very nutritious, they are protein heavy. Also, they're very dense, they fill you up easily. Essentially, they can replace rice and wheat. They can solve the problem of malnourishment. Most importantly, these are sustainable crops to grow. They require very little water. They're also good for the health of the soil. Truly, these are miracle greens.
India is on a millet revival mission, and the intention is clear: to bring this powerhouse of nutrients back to our kitchens and beat the perception that these are bland, coarse grains and are a poor man's food. Did you know the staple food of ancient India was millet, not rice? What used to be bland, gluten-free whole grains are now finding their place back onto our plates, and health experts couldn't be more delighted. A low glycemic index makes them an ideal rice substitute, good for cholesterol, diabetes and weight loss.
When we were expecting our daughter, I got gestational diabetes, and I managed the entire diabetes just by eating millet-based food. So we already knew that it was very, very nutritious and it was good for the farmers, and it was very helpful in weight loss also. We knew that as well, because even then ragi and bajra and jowar, at least dietitians were talking about it. This was 2013-14, around that time. But when I ate it too and managed diabetes very easily just by going on a millet-based diet and walking, like these two things I did, that's when we realized how powerful they are, and we realized that we needed to do something very systematically to bring this to the market. 60 to 70% of our country used to be eating millets and gluten-free foods. Wheat was a very small part of what we used to eat. So largely we would eat millets, and in the other coastal regions we would eat a lot of rice. The kind of rice also was very different, fibrous rice, not so polished. So gluten was not a large part of our diet as Indians, so we are not genetically wired to be eating so much gluten. And that is why there's a very strong case for increasing more gluten-free foods in our diet. And millets really fit the bill to the T, because they are high fiber, they are nutritious, and they are gluten-free, and they have traditionally been part of our diets.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies. Co-presented by Century Laminates by Manish Malhotra, Fashion for your furniture. Co-presented by Macho Hind, Bade Aaram Se. Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com, Har family hogi insured. Co-powered by The Bold Look of Kohler.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kamal. Is there a plausible George Soros angle to the Apple Snoopgate